Hi Flosstube, it's Shelly Keyx Stitch on Instagram, and it's Only Stitching here on YouTube. It's been about 6 weeks since my last one. We've had Christmas. I went to the attic. I went to the attic for a sampler symposium, got all that stuff. I don't think I'm going to show the charts I got included in the symposium because there's plenty of other people, including Mrs. Flossie. She showed it on her YouTube channel, all the charts really well. So I'll just show stuff I've started because I did start one from there. Bought some stuff, of course, because how can I go to an LNS and not buy, right? So not in order, but here we go. I worked on And They Sinned a little bit. Amy Gable Stitcher's working on this. I think Angela loves to stitch. I think Angela's also stitching on this, her ladies. And I'm stitching this on 16 Count Ancient by PTP. And all I did was I haven't cut this down. It's gonna be this whole length of like a yard. I finished a thread of green, and then I went up here and did these crown, and I think those are acorns. And I was looking at the green going, yeah, I don't really like that green. It's supposed to be the DMC equivalent of dried thyme. And I'm like, that doesn't look like dried thyme. Like I should have looked at the colors before I just blindly started using the DMC. But I'm not taking out all that. So the leaves are gonna be that color because there's a lot of leaves, like from here all the way around. But I've done a lot too, so they're staying. I bought this at the attic and the NPI to go with it, Riley Harbor by Kathy Barrick, and I had a stunning start on this while I was there yapping away. I think this is on Ancient also. So, but I really want to do that. Anybody who has that, tell me you're working on it so I can get motivated and work on it. Yeah, here's the NPI, and this is a bag that we did get as part of the Sampler Symposium stuff. Then I bought this at the attic, Eliza Brown by From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy Petrus. Found out it rhymes with Tetris. So I'm doing the big one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this alphabet. It kind of is blending in. And this is on Live and Die LA London Fog. And so far I have this much done. I was changing the colors, and this is supposed to be like Lancaster red or Lancaster red. And that's like cherry wine, and I think it's too wineish, and I might just go change it to red, red, red. So, because all these flowers are that red, so I think it'll look prettier if it's a red instead of a wine color. Then I worked a little bit on Grant House 1865 sampler. My photo has come off by Chessie and Me. I love Chessie and Me, as you'll see. And this is on some kind of PTP, I think. It could be Fiber on a Whim. I don't know. I don't know what this is on, some 16 count something. And so then I charted this because it's over 1 in the pattern. No, the eagles right here are over 1, so I had to rechart this to get the eagles to fit, and then I totally charted it wrong, and I was like, hey, I don't have enough room to go. So then I had to rechart this part. I moved the piece down and I made the half small. And so I put the words in, probably 1.5 eagles, and then I also did all this from here down. So the building, the shutters. And it's got satin stitch, but I just did X's for the shutters. So that's gonna be a finish this year, right, Amy? Amy Gable Stitcher is also working on this. And some other people have said they will work on it too, so gotta get going, finish it in 24, election year. This I said was gonna be on my 12 by 12, which it was, but I said it was by somebody else. It is by Wishing Thorn, so you can go to her website and download this. It's called Bernarda Bayonne 1838 Spanish Sampler. And I like this because it's got some of the Spanish letters, like it's got a double L, Y, and I think it has the N too. Right here. Is it this one? No, I can't see. Oh yeah, because it says Doña, so that's an N with a thing on it. And it says I did this. It's got Spanish writing on it too, so I really enjoy that one. And this is PTP Tycho. So it's kind of grayish tint to it on Ada. I never think this photographs very well on 1, 2, 3 stitch. And this, I know this blue is Capri. I think it's so pretty. So I'm definitely gonna get back to that one. I'm getting back to all these. I love all of them. I just started them. Mercy Mercy by Lottie Di. I've had this for a while. And I cut down this little piece of PTP. I think it's Heritage or something, and I only got that much of a start because this was on 12 by 12. Some people wouldn't consider it a start, but yes, I do. So I just did these stars right here. And I think I'm keeping the colors basically the same. Might have changed it to be a little bit bluer instead of pinker, because it's so odd to me when peacocks are pink. Then I started one from Peppermint and Holly, Merry Christmas. I don't know if I showed this before or not. I think I did. I had Merry and Part of Christmas written, so I just did some of the vine, which I really don't like stitching, and I did mess it up, so I had to fudge it already. And this is DMC. I think the Merry and the Christmas was not. I think it's Antique Rose or Hollyberry. Gassed Hollyberry. I think it's Gassed Hollyberry. And this is Fiber on a Whim. I think it's Cafe au Lait. I saw an email from Live and Die LA how some of their stuff had been turning green, some of their tans, but then they got a new batch of dye and it isn't doing it. So I'm hopeful that Fiber on a Whim, which is always green to me, I'm hoping that will start being not green, but I don't know. I don't know if I can buy any to find out. This I got on Etsy, and it's L Cross Stitch. Is the name of the store, EL Cross Stitch. And it's just different Disney characters. I think my grandson would really like this. I think this is just on 16 count Ada. And I had everything done except for I finished part of Chip and Olive Dale. I don't know which one's Chip. I did this whole one. No, that's totally a lie. Their heads were done and I did their bodies, and then I did her completely and I started this one, which I don't even know what these characters are called. I think this is Scrooge McDuck, right? And then this is one of, I don't know, Little Girl Duck. I don't know who this is. So I'll be looking those up, or you can tell me. Somebody told me last time, oh, those are, and they just knew all the characters that I was doing on that Mickey head one I was doing. This was a 12 by 12. My gosh, my stuff is not even in order. Even though I took all the 12 by 12 stuff out of the bag together, that Disney one got in there. I don't know. Liberty and Justice for All by Summer House Stitchworks. And I was going to start all of them, and I think I just started, I did start 2 of them. So I started the Equality. This one says Equality and Justice. This one says Liberty and Freedom. And I made it a little bit redder because their red was Ruby Slipper. Their colors are Ruby Slipper, Grecian Gold, and Uniform Blue. And I think I added a darker blue, and I am using Uniform Blue. And this, I think, is Turkish Red. So it's really red, red, red. My mom said she would want some smalls for 4th of July, so there we go. Okay, this was a 12 by 12 start. It's circling alphabets, and I also have the single pattern of this, which I started, but I was doing it in like pink. And so since I have grandsons, I'm starting it again with blues. This is what it looks like when it's done. And this is by Scarlet Letter from More Alphabets from Early Samplers is the name of the book, which I got off their website a while back. And I'm using Dublin Bay, which is a pretty blue-gray. And this I got, this is some Wren, PTP 16 count Wren I got from Kitten Stitcher, because I can tell by the tag. And so this, I don't know. So I started in the middle, and then you put your initials or the kid's initials or something, or the year in the middle. And I started going around with some letters. So I'd like to get that one done. I've had that for at least a few years. I guess like 4, so it's probably 6. And then I also finally started Mary Nori by Lucy Beam, 11 stitches. And it's this huge sampler. And I think I'm using mostly, this is the one, she gives you a whole bunch of, she gives you gas, she gives you classic colorwork, she gives you weeks, she gives you DMC, and then you just write what you're gonna use. So I'm using a mix, but I think I'm using mostly DMC. And I like how there's a couple letters per color. That seems like about enough. Like one letter seems like, oh, changing colors all the time. This is Live and Die LA Oatmeal. I got my Live and Die fabric from the SoCal retreat I went to in like August, September. Yeah, it was September. So glad to have started that. Then this is something we got at the Sampler Symposium at the Attic. It's by Mary Cox, from Mary's Heart is her company. No. From Mary's Heart, designs by Mary Cox. Okay, Alphabet's a sampler mat with accessories. So this is on 40 count with 103 silk. No, so I gave those away. And then I had to fiddle with it to make it fit 16 count and also fit the box, because the box was part of the kit also. So my box is full. So here is the box, and it's gonna fit in the bottom of the box. Oh, and here's a couple of things in here I got from people. I got this from Diane, the woodpecker's daughter. It's a really cute needle book, and she gave me some binding needles, and I used one of them. This is from Stitch Roadie, Anna, and this is also from Diane, the woodpecker's daughter. It's a thread catcher. So this that I stitched is gonna have interfacing put on it, be folded under all around, and then a piece of linen. Like she has antique linen that she gave us, sewed to the back of it, so it'll fit down in the box. And so I just started going with this alphabet until I couldn't fit anymore. Same thing with this one. This one I just fudged. This one I started going with this color. It's supposed to be the whole alphabet along the bottom, a really beautiful one. But I didn't really like the color I chose, so I just said forget it. Put my name, put the year. Oh, this is the day I finished it. And this January 22nd, Monday, is when I finished it, because that was Mike's birthday, my friend that passed away in 21 that used to live with us for about a year and a half. So trying to make myself feel better. Didn't work so well, I don't think. And then I put this ITA alphabet on, which is I've heard it called the initial teaching alphabet and also the international teaching alphabet, but these are sounds in English. And so when I was in first grade, I switched schools, and they used this to teach at least K1. I'm not sure about second grade, but you just learn, like, this is the long A, like A, E, I, O, U, U, Ah, Ow, Oi, you know. Then these are the diphthongs, ch, sh. One of these is th, and one of them's th, and I don't know which is which. And this is ng, and then this is like ER together makes just the sound. And so the idea is you read books where the words are written like this, so you always know the sound that the vowel is making. And then later you can learn what vowels or pairs of vowels make this sound, could replace this symbol. So I won't say I learned how to read, because I learned how to read before I got taught this, but I don't know. I thought it's an interesting idea, and I have not heard of other schools besides my school that did this. So if your school used ITA, tell me about it and what you thought, if you even remember it, because you're little when you're learning that. Okay, so let's see. Clunk. I also had a finish. I started this for 12 by 12. And it was from fall 2015 PNPS Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And it is by Teresa Murugita of Primitive Acorns, and it's called Old Mini Sampler. So fall 2015. And I started this and I finished it later, and it's very ghosty, which I liked. I know this color is linen. Of the thread, and then that's carriage black, carriage house black, carriage black. And So that needs to be made into a pincushion. So that's another finish. And then this was my blessing sampler that I did in January. So I finished this before the end of January. It's by Words of Praise. It's from, I think it's from the 80s. I saw a date on this. 1983. And I think on eBay, I think there's somebody that sells these still. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. And this is on some kind of 16 count. I don't know what it is either. So there's angels at the top. And then the Christmas story from Luke. Oh, I needed my fabric for another sampler, so that's cut super tight. So I kept hearing Linus's voice from the Charlie Brown Christmas, reading these out loud. And then all the animals, and I think I changed some of the colors. I know I changed the sheep color because they were supposed to be backstitched, and I'm not going to backstitch. So I went over them with a lighter color, like this white. There's like 8 blends in this. It was all DMC. I think there were 6 colors, but then 8 blends. So it's fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. So I'm happy to have that, and I will do something with it for Christmas. I don't know if I'm gonna frame it. I think I'm gonna make like a pillow or something out of it. I got these from my friend Cheryl for Christmas. They're little sheep scissors. And she also gave me this holder with my Instagram and name on it, and you can hold bobbins in there. And then there's like a little thread bed here, so I've been using that. And Cheryl had also given me this. I don't know if I ever showed it, but I used this at the retreat. A lot of people, our whole table had these from Amazon. It's just a book stand, but it's pretty tiny, so it's pretty compact and it folds all the way down. And then Cheryl had also given me this, which is a strong needle minder, but it has a cord on it so you can attach your scissors to it. And these scissors we got from Mary Cox. It was part of that with the tray. She also gave us pins and like some lizard litter, some like crushed walnuts to use to stuff a little pin cushion, because there's a pin cushion pattern. There's all kinds of stuff in that. Okay, now I will show you what else I bought at the attic. This is Mary Miller, and actually my mom's cousins. My mom had a cousin named Marilyn Miller, and my aunt's last name was Miller, and her name was Mary Jane. So Mary Miller, it's kind of like a family thing to me, although I'm not related by blood to the Millers. Scarlet House, Mary Miller. So I really like that. Scarlet House is one of my favorite designers. I don't even know how much I paid. It looks like I paid $27. Oh, that's god awful, isn't it? So then I got my half price patterns. I just, like the third time I went to the attic, I found a bunch of boxes with like a bunch of half price Chessie and Me, which I love. So I got Cherry Hill sampler. My best friend from high school, she had lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Upside down. This one is With My Hand by Chessie and Me. Like all the houses in these. And this one is Rose and Crown sampler. So these were like, this was $6. They were like $4, $6. This was $3. It's a little fob. Under the Blossom scissor fob. I think that's Chessie, the cat, like this cat. This is Rose Cottage sampler. And then I got some Nikki's Creations. I love her stuff. I love the really primitive stuff. I don't know. It's called Sampler Symbols. Oops. Oh my gosh. My watch got caught. And Floral Garden. Again by Nikki's Creations. And this is my last Nikki's Creations, a sampler for Christmas. I've looked at this one before and almost bought it. So I'm shaking the table. And then Not Forgotten Farm. I've looked for this one. I've looked at this one before too. Woodland Christmas. It's got so much orange in it, but I might just leave it orange. I really like orange. So I think it's kind of interesting for Christmas colors. Stacy Nash. Also have priced Peacock Sewing Roll. I like all the little sewing accessories like housewives and sewing rolls. And oh, here's the whole bunch of it. This is by Alan Chester, With My Needle. And this one is Mrs. Wadlow's Needle Basket. So I think, yeah, you don't get the pattern for this, but you do get the pattern like for the bottom of the basket. The scissors keep, the ruler holder. I forget what these are. Thread winders? Interesting. Wonder what you cover. Maybe you cover a piece of cardboard with some linen to make a thread winder. Ooh, that's a lot of work, isn't it? Work basket, diagonal sampler. I thought that was really interesting. Oh, the diagonal sampler finished into a needle roll. And this one is I Stitch Designs So Grande. And I thought the alphabet was really cute, especially like this one, the cursive. Looks like cursive. And yeah, so that was my last day. I grabbed all the half price stuff. It was like 10 minutes. We were like gonna go, and I was like, I was meeting my friend Heidi. Hi, Heidi. Heidi's homemade. She has a Flosstube and an Etsy shop, and she lives in the Phoenix area. So I met up with her on Sunday. That was super fun, and I bought these bags from her. Whales and fish. It has a nice fob. A zipper pull. That she made. And I also started this pattern for 12 by 12, but this is in one of Heidi's bags. So I'll just show Frida. This is also from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it is spring 2018, I think. Yeah, spring 2018. And I think it's just called Frida. Yeah, Frida, for Frida Kahlo. I'm doing this in all the called for DMC because I love Barbara Anna's. It's by Barbara Anna. I love her color choices. They're so unusual. So except I did change the skin color, I think. Maybe I didn't. This is Periwinkle by Bestitch Me. Decided to go really like outside the box and do that one. I don't know, the skin. Yeah, no, I think I kept the skin color. Yeah, it was like 822 this color, and I was gonna make it like pinker 951, but it looked weird, so I thought I'll just leave it. So I think that's it. I think it looks totally different anyway on purple, right? So we'll see if the colors are gonna look okay on this fabric. Periwinkle blue. Did you guys ever do? My mom did Color Me Beautiful. And my dad would always laugh, oh, periwinkle, that's a color that all the seasons can wear. Oh my gosh. We gave my mom so much ribbing over that Color Me Beautiful stuff. I got this from one of my table mates that I met, Nanette. And she doesn't have a Flosstube. And this was from Sampling of Memories. It was one of the gifts included in the symposium. And then I have a bunch of candy in here. I bought some big buttons that I'm gonna try and use for toppers of all the strawberries that I make. But I thought it was good because I could see the size of them and not have to like convert from millimeter like it seems like so often you have to do. But yeah, Nanette is a quilter, and it's very lovely. All the seams are finished inside. When I made one of these bags once, like, I don't know how long ago, 15 years ago maybe, and my seams were all raw on the inside. I bought this from Abby Bella Stitch's G-Stash, because I love Noah. It's permanent out of print. Noah's Webster. And then the last two things I bought were at the attic were from Amy, Mrs. Flossie. And this one is my Flossie sampler. So that's a really cute alphabet of hers. And then I also bought the AM 1918 sampler, this is a reproduction one. So I think that's all. Oh my gosh, so much stuff, right? So much to stitch. I look at my new stuff. I look at my older whips. I'm like, oh my goodness. Had a great old time at Sampler Symposium. I met some people in person that I Zoom with usually. So Jessica Schoolhouse Stitcher and Anna Stitch Roadies. And of course, Janine at Acorns and Threads. She was there helping out. And I've met Janine multiple times at her shop. So that was fun to see them. And Kim and I drove out, got a hotel, sat at a great table with Amy, Diane, and Nanette that I've mentioned, and Carolyn that works at the attic. And it was just sampler after sampler after sampler, so really fun. And Kim and I went to like 3 antique stores, and it was great. Everything was great. We went through a sandstorm on the way there, and we made it fine though. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't know. If there's something you want to know, ask me. Nicola was there. She's just like you think she would be. And I really like the 2 charts we got from Needlework Press, and also Cross Stitch Antiques. Kathleen Littleton, she was there too. And the other person was, oh my gosh, Katie Strachan. Yes, that's everybody, including Mary Cox. So those are all the presenters. And so I was like, hey, my voice isn't totally gone and hoarse from talking, because we were listening pretty often to people, you know, talking about their samplers that they were giving us and the histories and stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't talk quite as much as usual. So it's nice not to have lost my voice. I think that's it. I hope everyone is having a great January. I can't believe it's almost over, right? Shocking. Okay, so tell me if you have any whips that I do and you're working on them so I can be motivated, or just what you're stitching on in general. Thanks for watching, and happy stitching.